Across the Atlantic Ocean lies a subtropical oasis that beams of exotic beauty. With its signature pink sand, aqua water, and classic rum swizzle, Bermuda is the gem of the Atlantic. Journey today with the Reinsurance podcast as we head to this island paradise to take part in Bermuda's annual Risk Summit.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Reinsurance podcast here in Bermuda. I'm your co-host, Jared Lee.
And I'm Ben Rose, and with us now we have Mairi Mallon from Rein4ce. Welcome to the show.
Hello, and thank you for having me.
I'm delighted to have you here because you also seem to have brought the sun with you. So,
yeah, obviously from Scotland, yeah. Been all the way from Scotland. Yeah, thank you for having me. How's your Risk Summit been?
Been pretty good.
It's been good. It's been really active. It's a really fabulous event. So it's the networking is happening. The sort of seminar sections are really interesting. So it's been really good.
Yeah, it's their third year. It's really interesting. We've been sponsoring it since it started because we really wanted to be help them. The idea behind it was to be like a Monte Carlo rendezvous, but in Bermuda.
Yeah,
and that's quite a hard thing to replicate. But it's early days, and it's really coming off, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, there were definitely about 500 people in the auditorium this morning.
That's what they're saying. Yeah.
This is really good. I'm really pleased for them.
Yeah. And I think it shares, I guess, with Monte Carlo to some extent something in that it's not necessarily the easiest place to get to or the cheapest place to get to, which acts as a natural filter on who comes. So you do get quite a high quality of attendees across the board who are, passionate about being here, want to make the most of their time, and are also senior enough to be able to move and shake.
They can actually stay in the Hamilton Princess, yeah. It's also really interesting timing wise, because in the same way that the Rendezvous Monte Carlo is sort of the precursor to the 1/1 renewal discussions, this is after 1/1, before the one for Japan, and before the Florida property stuff in 1/6 and 1/7. So actually, it's a really good time to come in because everyone's taken a breath, and they can look back and go, whew, done that. And then they can look forward, and you actually see some very interesting people on the island coming in for negotiations, coming in and doing stuff. And it's really interesting as well. So I do what we call American media relations and communications in the UK. And what is really interesting is that the amount of press that are here is phenomenal. So there are, from our point of view, when we roll out our CEOs and our people that we talk to, the biggest press place is RIMS. And that's understandable. Second one is Monte Carlo.
Yeah.
And the third one is now this. There are 30 members of the press here.
That's amazing.
Which is incredible. But it's also that timing thing. It is post 1/1. They've got to come out anyway. They've got to cover Bermuda because, if you're in this world, you do London, Bermuda, New York, and Zurich. Those are your places, and sometimes Singapore if that's your bit. But so they've got to come out anyway. So why not come out for the Risk Summit? And what it means is you end up getting amplification of the stories that people are telling as well.
Well, and it's a venue, the timing as well, where it's sort of just coming after sort of the announcements of results have been, so it's a great timing if you want to come and talk. Some people have come to us now and done that. Like if you want to come and talk about the successes you've had in those things, it's like the timing is brilliant for that as well. So from a PR perspective and a media perspective, it's a really powerful venue to sort of make those announcements and have those conversations in person.
Yeah, and they haven't had any quiet periods. If they're listed, they've got to be really careful about what they can say, when they can say it, who they can say it to, because you've got to tell your shareholders first.
Yeah.
So if they've already told the shareholders, then the rest of us are fine.
Yeah. We can lean into some of the things that they're now tackling. Like how are they going to double down on that success that they've been having, especially reinsurers on the island who have been having a good year in 2023.
Yeah, very good year, very good year. They're and they're telling their story better as well, I think. This market has always had a problem of not being great at waving its own flag or talking about itself. It's a very, bankers and hedge funds and whatever, they have all their narratives. But the kind of world of risk management, without our clients, and I include your clients in that as well, without our clients, the world doesn't turn. Things don't recover. When buildings fall down, when the earth shakes, wind blows, our clients keep the world turning.
Yeah. And is that part of a central part of the kind of work that you do with your clients, especially the carrier clients and reinsurer clients you have, is improving that storytelling narrative and allowing them to perhaps convey the important role that they play in the market, which they can maybe sort of humbly downplay.
Yeah, it's a really important part of it, because no one wants to hear about your financials all the time, whatever. They want to know what you think. What is the next Hurricane Andrew? Someone was saying this morning, cyber hasn't had its Hurricane Andrew moment. There's a whole bunch of things like that. There's all these unknowns out there, and everyone's really worried about it, and these guys do this all day, every day. This is what they live and breathe. So they're not frightened by it.
Yeah.
They actually sound terrifying when they talk sometimes, but you think, oh God, the world's going to land on our head, the sky's falling on our head kind of moment. But yes, and it's a really important global narrative. And there's a kind of synergy as well, because the trade press covers what we do very well. But the sort of national press, the sort of FT, the Bloomberg, Reuters, Wall Street Journal, Huffington Post, really, really don't cover what we do very much compared to other sectors. And that is partly our fault, because we don't give them the narrative about these big global macroeconomic, which are actually really interesting and really exciting. Global warming is going to change everything.
I guess it's similar to a lot of our conversations with our friends and family and people who aren't familiar with the space. Before every article, you preface it with, so there's this thing called reinsurance, before you can get into the good bits of the story.
I know. It is. Don't tell anyone you work in insurance at dinner party.
Yeah.
Stop moving away.
Yeah, don't tell me to do a reinsurance podcast, that's for sure.
Backing out the door. No, I won't watch that one. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
But everyone in the industry will, though.
Yeah.
That's it. Because and I'm sure that's why everyone. It's such a small industry that people really, really get on, and they really like each other, and that's why these kind of events are great as well, because we always think about the communications we do is what do you want to say and who do you want to say it to, and actually you use the press as a conduit rather than having 65 meetings. You can actually do a press interview or a podcast, or you can also do LinkedIn or any kind of social media, but it's what you want to say and who you want to say it to. And that's why these events are so successful in our market, because everyone loves meeting up. And everyone loves telling stories. There's a lot of storytellers in our market.
Well, and I think we talk a lot as an industry now, and we've brought up on the podcast a few times, but the talent challenges that the industry faces. And I think there's a really important role that media plays in the ability for these companies to put out that message as a vehicle to attract young talent, to one, expose them to this thing that does in fact exist, but two, highlight the importance that this industry has sort of to make the world run. And that message is a really important one to get out, so that we have a shot of attracting young talent.
Yeah, I mean,
and improving us.
We've been looking at TikTok for our clients. And people laugh. They laugh. But you're like, no, if the kids are on TikTok, then we're going to have to find a way of sensibly making short, sweet videos that explain what we do. Because that's my kids, my kids always laugh because I see things on Facebook about 5 weeks after they've seen it on TikTok. I'm like, look at this is really funny. And they're like, my soul. But we've got to learn about all the technology. I mean, when I started my company up in 2008, and at the time there were all these social media gurus. I don't know if you remember the time of social media gurus. They were all morons. They were really. It was hilarious. There were these guys they were just complete charlatans. And you're trying to talk to your insurance execs, going, no, we should use social media. And they're like, now everyone does it, but it was very, very funny. It's just a tool. It is just a tool in the same way this podcast is just a tool. Newspapers, anything, any form of communication, it's just a tool to get what you need to say out, and to have and also more importantly have a two-way conversation. So people can talk back to you as well. So it's not just broadcast.
And to date, still sort of complementing large in-person events like this one.
Exactly.
Interestingly, so,
Exactly.
Room for both, perhaps.
I hope you have a good final rest of your conference.
No, and you too.
No, it's been a delight so far, and hopefully you've had a productive one as well. And
It was, and the weather's turning, so
I know, just in time now for the last day of the conference. Exactly.
Swim in at some point.
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much.
Mairi, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It's been a delight.